Hey everyone, in this video I want to show you something that can really transform how you build products, which is actually Replit. I'm sure you've seen them around. They are sponsoring the video, but I had a great time using them actually, and I really believe that it can really help you out build your ideas. So before, when you wanted to build an app or software, you had to know a lot of the technical details, but then AI came along and Replit has made it a really good experience for interacting with that AI to build out more and more sophisticated products actually. So it's not just simple apps anymore. It's getting very advanced here with built-in databases and authentication, payments, mobile apps. Like they're getting into agents and automations here as well. So it's really becoming this all-in-one platform to build all sorts of software products. So I know a lot of you are building SaaS apps, and I know a lot of you are actually also running an agency or you're a freelancer of some sort. And I actually know a lot of you are sort of front end / design as well. So I think for all of those roles, there are some really compelling use cases here in Replit. So I'm actually really excited to walk you through it here. There's a lot to show, but let's actually say that we do want to build a SaaS app. So where do we start? Well, traditionally, where we would start is probably with some kind of Figma design. And you can still start there and you can import the design right here in Replit, okay? But actually, as of recording, they are now offering a new design mode here as well. So let's actually put this to the test. This allows you to visually prototype with no backend. So if you are in that designer type of role or product manager type of role, this can be a great place to start. So what is my idea? Well, I run a business and every month I have to collect all of these receipts for my accountant. And I've been wanting an app that allows me to just dump them all in there and organize them. And if I want this, I think it's very likely that there are other business owners or people out there that want it as well. So I want to create this receipt tracker app that allows me to collect and organize all receipts for my business. I can add attachments here. However, I'm just going to start bare bones from here. They actually do offer to improve the prompt for me, but let's actually just go ahead and see what it can do with this. All right, so here it's going to show me the new workspace. They have a new Replit agent. We have tools and files here, including quick access to the files here. So we should see, you can see it's now creating the file here for the files here for my project, and it shows me that we can publish it here as well. Okay, now this is in the design mode. So this is going to have a bigger emphasis on the actual UI, so the visual part of it. It does not come with a backend at this point. However, if we like the visualization, we can convert it into a real app with backend right from here as well. But let's actually just focus on the design. This is typically where we start because we need to know what a user should be able to do. It makes sense that we think about that first before we start building out a complete backend to support those features. You can see while the agent is working, we can actually already send messages to add to a queue. They actually allow you to develop on the go with their mobile app as well. We can use plan mode to chat without code changes. They have app storage for images and videos, really big help actually. All right, so looks like it's finishing up here. And here we go, we see something here. Let's see, it's still working. All right, so this all looks good to me. They have some example receipts here, but I would actually like to upload receipts myself. So there is actually an add receipt button here as well. All right, so it looks like it's finishing up in here for real now. Okay, so it gives an overview here of the key features that it has implemented. Okay, so we have a dashboard, a receipt management, status tracking, modern design system, and it has created a checkpoint at this point. So if we later decide, oh, actually what we had here was good, we can go back to this point. Okay, now they do mention open a new tab to test authentication and file upload. So let's go ahead and open a new tab. Oh, whoa, so this is actually way more advanced than what we saw in the preview. So they do mention this is a temporary development preview and these links are not for public use, right? So what you get here is not meant for sharing. If you want to share, you can deploy the app for sharing or use an invite link. Okay, so here we actually get a very decent looking dashboard here. Very typical SaaS dashboard. And actually just creating this even a few years ago used to take so much time. I actually have a tutorial on the ByteGrad YouTube channel where I show people how to create like this type of dashboard with CSS and such. And the fact that you can just generate it with AI in minutes is insane productivity boost. So now of course I want to be able to add receipts. All right, so here we can actually see a modal here. I can add a receipt here. So here it wants me to manually specify the receipt data. My idea is that, for example, I already have a receipt like this. Like I already have purchased something and I just want to add it here. I just want to upload the file basically. And maybe with AI, it can automatically extract the details from here. So let's actually see if Replit can do that because it's they have to set up AI for that. But that's already a technical feature that we would like to change. but we're still in design mode here. So let's just see if we like the overall look. Okay, so it hasn't created these pages yet, but overall the design is great here. I think this looks fine. Great. Yeah, this is nice. Now, one thing we would want to add is perhaps a landing page. So you have a separation between the dashboard, which should be like a private area, and the public homepage. So we can say, so can you create a public landing page, and then this dashboard should be authenticated. Okay, so it's going to design the landing page now, considering UI elements. Okay, so it's generating images actually. Okay, it did run into an issue here, but should be an easy fix, just an import issue. All right, actually, yeah, it was able to fix it without issues here. So now we have a nice landing page as well. Let's open this up here. All right, so this actually looks pretty interesting. All right, so here we have a landing page, right? So here for SaaS, it's very typical that you have like a public website, and then to actually get the actual functionality of the SaaS, you have to log in. We have a login page actually here as well. Click on sign up here, get started. All right, so I think this is a great starting point. So we could continue improving the design, but I think at this point, we are actually already ready to convert from design to app. So you can click on the button here to go into actual app mode, right? And really try to make it production ready with a database as well. So let's go ahead and convert this to an app. All right, so once doing that, it does tell us what it's trying to do here. So there is a data model, user authentication to keep the receipts private per user, API routes for route operations. Those are create, read, update, delete, and an actual database integration with Postgres. All right, looks like it's finishing up here, and you can see that it actually will try to test here the complete flow here, a test account as well, and takes a screenshot here as well. So it's being pretty thorough. All right, so it looks like it's finished now. What I like about Replit is they immediately display how much it cost you actually, how long it took, how many actions it took, the items it read, the code it changed, and they're very transparent about the actual costs here as well. I like that. All right, so let's actually try this out, see if it actually works. So we still have our public landing page. Now I want to get started. I can create an account. Let's create one. All right, looks like I can't create an account. So let me actually take a screenshot here. Now here I'm running it without app testing. So this means it's cheaper for me, but you may have to prompt sometimes you have to prompt an additional round here to perhaps get something to work. I could enable app testing here, and then it will run autonomous tests to verify app functionality as you build. They do mention keep enabled for optimal results. Okay, but it may result in higher costs, so it's a bit of a trade-off that you can make here. They also have an option here for autonomy level. In the current level, it will not plan and complete new work independently. However, if I would pick max autonomy, it would enable extended autonomous development sessions up to 200 minutes with minimal supervision. Right, so this has higher cost, but if you really want to push it to the absolute limit, they do offer these options as well. It has tried to come up with a fix here, so let's go ahead and try this out. All right, let's see if this works. All right, actually we're in. Yeah. So we have authentication in like 2 prompts. Again, this is a typical thing that used to take, a lot of work. We now have a separation between public page and private dashboard area. That's great. All of the links are working here, but actually I'm only interested in dashboard and receipts. So we could actually cut off those routes. But for now, let's actually try to add a receipt. Yeah, so here it wants us to manually fill out the data, but I already have a receipt PDF file. I just wanted to grab this info automatically from it. So we will just ask the Replit agent here to change it into uploading a PDF file and then automatically extracting the info, perhaps with AI, right? So a lot of your apps will have some kind of AI integration these days. So let's see how Replit does with that. All right, so actually it wants to use the OpenAI integration. We can actually add OpenAI to the app using Replit's managed service. So we actually do not need to go into OpenAI and generate an API key and then add it here. This is actually automatically handled for you. And the charges are built simply credits I have here in Replit. So let's actually go ahead and see if that works. All right, so it claims that, all right, 1 minute of work, refresh here. Okay, so we have to log in. Let's see if it remembered my account. And it did. Okay, so the accounts are actually persisted. That's good. So let's actually try adding a receipt now. And it hasn't removed the form fields yet, but maybe it already works. All right, so I cannot upload yet. So let's just add another prompt. Okay, so just improving here. All right, let's give it another shot. Okay, we're here back in the dashboard. Looks like I need to fix the add receipt button as well. All right, so I had to one more prompt there, but ultimately this is working. Let's actually try out if the AI feature is also working. All right, so I can actually upload PDF files. I just selected a file from my computer. Let's see if it can actually extract the data here with AI. Right, so remember it's using the OpenAI integration with zero setup from my side. All right, so I will just quickly take a screenshot here. It seems to have found an issue here where it thinks that the OpenAI's Vision API does not accept PDF files directly. So it needs to extract the text first and then send that to the AI. Right, so these are more like intermediate features. So, you know, if we have to do an additional prompt, that's expected, but it's really good at picking up what the issue is. So with all of them so far, it has very quickly identified it and fixed it as well. It's just an additional prompt. And actually it makes sense that it was thinking about images, because you can imagine if you buy something in real life that you have an actual image on your phone. Right, so that's what this was trying to do. Actually, it makes even more sense. You know, online you typically have PDF files for your receipts. So I'm just changing that here, but actually its initial idea actually was good. All right, so just finished here PDF data extraction. Let's add a receipt. Okay, let's see if this works. All right. Wow, that's actually really good. Really nice overview here, very fast. Merchant is good. The amount, let's actually double check it. Okay, so the merchant here is indeed Lumen Bean Coffee. Amount 732 is correct. Category is meals. It has a date. Okay, that's correct as well. Coffee and snack purchase. Yeah, so this looks great actually. I will save it right here and it's actually added here to the database. Wow, this is genuinely really good. And let me actually try it again. All right, so I have another PDF file here. Let's see what it can do with that. All right, so super fast again. And let's actually double check here. So pixel paper office supply is correct. The amount 1850 is correct as well. The date also correct. Office category is correct. And actually all of this is correct and super fast. Now I can save it and it shows up here in my recent receipts. So really good, genuinely impressed there. I also have a nice overview here with all the receipts over here. And this is all without me having to go into OpenAI and generate an API key and then setting it up. This is all supported out of the box here with Replit. Working really well. Now, if you do want to know how it actually has implemented it, here they do show you a button for changes in the code as well. So they do mention they have updated a file to use PDF parse, basically a package to first extract the text from the PDF and then send that to OpenAI's chat completions API. Now, if in case you do want to see the code, you can actually view that in here as well. So if you are interested in the actual API call that it's making, we can see the prompt right here, right? So then we can tweak it even further here. We can say, you know, the prompt should be something else. It's nice that we still have full visibility into the code as well. All right, so what's the next step? We're building a SaaS, right? So we want to have other people actually pay for it to actually use this as well. So let's add payments. All right, so I just cleared out the chat conversation by opening a new chat here, just to clear out the previous context, because now what I want to do is actually add payments. This is traditionally one of the hardest things to implement, but I think Replit actually has a great solution for this. So we could just say something like, can you add Stripe payments? They also have / commands here. So in this case, I'm looking for the Stripe integration. So I can also just select that and press enter. And well, I could add some text as well, but it should be able to pick up on the fact that I want to integrate Stripe. So let's see what it can do. All right, so here it asks me to connect to Stripe. It will get started with a Stripe sandbox. This is an environment that allows us to quickly try out payments without real payments having to go through. So yes, we will proceed. All right, I just grabbed an espresso and now it's finished. Let's try it out. I'll open it up in a new tab. Looks like we're going to have a pricing page here. And yes, we do. Okay, so it came up with 2 different plans. We can customize this later, of course. I just quickly want to see what it has added here on the public side of the... Okay, so it looks good. But of course, the most important thing is that we can actually pay. So let's say I want to subscribe to this pro plan. All right, just a small hiccup. I'm just going to ask it to gate the private area by membership and also the flow of the going through the payments. All right, so I just came up with a few fixes. Let's try it out now. All right, so we still have this pricing page here. And let's actually say that I just want to try getting access without paying, so I can create an account. Let's see what happens. All right, so now I've created an account. I'm actually redirected to the pricing page, which is correct, right? So if I try going to the dashboard now, so here by typing in the URL, for example, you can see I'm being redirected here to the pricing page, right? So it's gating that access to that route, depending on my membership status. So now I want to subscribe, right? So I like this app, I want to subscribe. And now I'm being redirected here to a checkout page. You can see this is a sandbox environment. So I can try to sign up here with a fake credit card. It's 4242 all the way. And then I can just type some gibberish here to quickly check. Right, so this is just testing payments. So now I'm going to try to pay, and it's processing. And succeeded here. So let's see what happens now. I'm being redirected here to success is true. And here I get a toast message telling me payment successful. Thank you for your subscription. I now have access to all the features. Well, let's try that out. I'm going to go to the dashboard here. And now I do have access to the dashboard, right? So here I can upload my receipts just like before. Right, but now we have added payments to our full stack application. So if I try to log out now, for example, sign out, and if I try to go there without logging in, it's also redirecting me to log in. So now the dashboard page is being gated by both the authentication status as well as my membership status here in the pricing page. So really amazing. Actually, it took me 2 prompts. Right, so previously, a year or 2 years ago, this would have taken professional developers multiple weeks. So pretty amazing what we can do right now. And of course, we can make some final tweaks, like add a third plan here, maybe center this on the page and other small tweaks. But the really hard parts like authentication and payments and having that separation between a public landing page and a private dashboard, we can get that with just a few prompts now here in Replit, which is pretty amazing. And so now we have a SaaS app. Allows me to, well, now start charging people to get access to it, start getting some revenue without me having to write a single line of code. So pretty amazing here. Now let's see what else we can do here. So if you want to continue styling this, for example, I can select elements here on the page as well. So I could say something like this box here. I could say, please center, right? So then it knows which ones I'm talking about. All right, so now you can see it has centered these plants, but I can of course also visually style things differently here. So I can actually change the text here, change the font size and alignment, and I can actually pick the exact color that I want to use here as well. Add padding and margin. I can then click on save changes and hand off that task to the agent. Now you could see that a complex feature like payments, it can take some time, right? So this is a really big feature. So it took me about 9 minutes to get the initial version of the payment. But a lot of the work is not in those super complex features, right? A lot of work is simply like what I just did or smaller features, right? So they actually also have a fast mode. This is going to be much faster, right? So I don't see a pricing link here in the header. So I could say something like, right, so in this case, for example, here on the pricing page, it hasn't added the pricing link because it thinks we're already on the pricing page. But let's say I do want to have the pricing link in the header. This is a smaller task. And now you can see this took about a few seconds before it showed up. So this is much faster. Right? Great for lightweight changes, right? So you have some settings here. You can specify which mode you want. There's also something else here, the tools that the agent has access to. So it can search the web. It can also generate images. This is actually one of my favorite features. So if we go to the home page, we have this image here. And if we just select that, I can actually change it if you already have an image. But I can also ask, can you regenerate an image with this? All right. There we go. It just changed the image without having to go to a separate tool to generate them. It can all be done here. Now here you can see there's a new tab here called Tools and Files. So there's a lot more that we can do here in Replit. Our app is using a database here. And by default, this is a development database. And here during development, it's a development database. There's some information that you can find right here. And also the environment variable specifically for your database. We can, of course, also publish our app. So in this case, we are using Stripe, right? And this is just a sandbox. So when you really want to accept real payment, you have to go through the Stripe onboarding process at that point. And they may have to verify some info on your side, but Replit makes it as easy as it's going to get, right? So here we can claim our sandbox and walk through the guide here. So Replit has a bunch of integrations. Of course, we've seen Stripe, but Replit itself actually also manages some that we've used here. So we are using a Replit database, right? So that comes out of the box, including app storage, right? So if your users are, for example, uploading things, in our case, the user is uploading PDF files, let's say, right? We need to store that somewhere. Traditionally, you would have to go to some external service, a lot of work, but here in app storage, that comes out of the box for right? So for documents, but also images and videos. Of course, authentication here, and they also have Replit domains. If you already have a design in Figma, by the way, you can use the MCP server to connect to that here. And you can sync with your Git provider as well, right? So if you do want to sync with GitHub, for example, we can connect here. We have a security scanner in here as well. I think this is actually one of the most powerful features because, yeah, I'm generating a lot of code here with AI. It does give me a greater sense of security that there is an additional check here for potential issues. So I really like this actually. Right now on the homepage, you can find all your apps back here, including published apps and your usage as well, right? So as you publish and people start using it, we want to see some observability in what is going on as well, right? So you have all of this observability here included. I think the main takeaway that you can see here from Replit is that it's really an all-in-one platform. They're constantly releasing new features, so it's a really powerful platform, and I highly recommend that you check it out with a link in the description. I think it has a really good chance of helping you out with building your ideas, whether it's a SaaS application like what we did in the video, or maybe you have some other idea. I would say give it a shot. You can find a link in the description. In any case, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.